Hello, greetings from SUGHYD. Today's event focuses on Sitecore XM Cloud Embedded Personalize, presented by Amit Kumar. Unfortunately, we do not have Vignesh today because he has fallen sick. So Amit will be continuing the session, and which is hosted by Vishal and Yamini. Over to you, Amit.
Hey, thank you, Yamini and Vishal. So, thanks everyone for joining today. It's a late evening for you, but I thought that I will be sharing in your evening time so that you can get relaxed and get some knowledge. So, let me quickly share my screen and then start. So, I hope you able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and the today's session is on the Sitecore XM Cloud Embedded Personalization. So, in this session, I will be explaining about touching upon little bit on the Sitecore XM Cloud. So you already worked on the Sitecore XP and XM. So suppose if you are moving to the XM Cloud, so it's better to know about what is XM Cloud. Then I will be explaining about what is embedded personalization and what are the key features and what are the difference between a in-session and the session-based personalization, and when and why use the embedded personalization as well as the Sitecore personalization, personalize and the CDP, and some use cases, and then I will be moving to the demo. So this is small introduction about myself. So myself Amit, and I am having a 20 plus years of experience and currently working as a solution architect with Avnat. So you can reach out to me via any of my social handle, and you can also scan the QR code which is displaying on your screen, and you can connect with me. So now moving to the introduction to the Sitecore XM Cloud. So as you are aware that Sitecore XM Cloud is a headless content CMS offering from the Sitecore. It's a cloud native headless CMS. So before XM Cloud, if you need to do the uh, headless implementation in Sitecore, like a Sitecore 9 onwards, then you will be getting the layout service, and you need to set up your own system, and you can expose the layout service endpoint and the GraphQL endpoints, and you can consume in the any of the application like headless application, mobile or anywhere, right? But Sitecore also introduced the SaaS offering, so you do not need to do anything, any installation. So it will be taken care by the Sitecore, and it is also providing you the intuitive interface so that like a pages editor, so that you can edit the pages. It's advanced editor, you can say that, of the experience editor, and it is also providing you the uh, uh, modern tech framework where you can write the code like a Next.js, Angular, Vue, or React. So before this headless implementation, generally we used to use the MVC to write the code, but in headless implementation, you will be just getting a data via API, right? So you can utilize a plain vanilla JavaScript also to write a code. But if you need to have a Sitecore experience editor or pages editor, then you need to follow the Next.js based SDK or the Angular SDK or Sitecore GSS SDK, so that you can get a benefit from the Sitecore features which they are keep pushing into the these SDKs. So as I was telling that it is a Jamstack ready, like you will be getting a data from the API, embedded personalization, which is I am going to cover in this session, and edge content delivery means in the traditional MVC implementation, you will be having a CM and CD role, right? CM is your content authoring system, CD is the published content. So here the content delivery will be happening via the Edge GraphQL endpoint. Those are the CDN enables endpoint. And when you are publishing from your Sitecore XM cloud instance, it will be publishing the layout and the content and the media item to your Edge GraphQL endpoints. And there is a limitation is that Edge only serve the 50 MB up to 50 MB size of media items. So, and this edge content delivery you can utilize in your XM and XP implementation also if you want it. And inbuilt component library, you will be getting a component as a services, so you can design the component in a XM cloud portal itself, and you can utilize in your uh, application. Advanced pages editor, like I said, that you will be getting, and I will be showing you also. And faster development and deployment means that you will be getting a you can say that the starter kit, you can utilize XM Cloud Foundation head or vertical head to start with. You will be getting a set of a component which can be utilized in your website implementation. And also deployment, you will be getting a out of the box GitHub connector. So if you are on the GitHub code repo, so you can utilize that to deploy the code with the Vercel. But if you are not having the Vercel, if you are using any other, then you need to write a code to deploy that. Customer portal, like you can manage the user access, and you can also do the out of the box. The feature is there to integrate with your IAM system like a Microsoft Intra. For the site management, we will be having a headless XXA because Sitecore XM Cloud is based on the headless XXA, so that you can easily do the multi-site management, tenant, and those things. Inbuilt inside, I will be showing you what is coming into that. And inbuilt form, Sitecore XM Cloud is giving you the out of the box form app where you can create a simple apps, but data cannot be stored in the Sitecore itself. But before that, when you used to use the Sitecore forms, data would be submitting to the XDB Analytics Forms database, and you will be able to export that in the form of CSV. But here you need to write a custom webhook. So suppose if any user is submitting the data, then it should uh, send to those webhook endpoints. So with this, I have just provided you the overview of XM Cloud. Then you will be easily able to correlate what is embedded personalization. So now moving to the understanding of embedded personalization. So embedded personalization is out of the box personalization. So suppose if you are buying the license for the XM Cloud, then it is automatically coming as a offering from the Sitecore. So you can utilize some custom rules and some out of the box segmentation to implement the personalization. So where you can utilize the real time behavior also of the user. For example, if user is coming from a specific country, you can utilize that, or you are having up to 30 days of data and their out of the box conditions are there, and you can utilize those also. For example, if you are visiting the website a first time or a second time, or you have visited the website previously, but how many times within a 10 days or a 20 days. So those type of out of the box personalization rules, you can use that. Edge function for page swapping. The meaning of this line item is that when you are building the headless implementation, generally people will be going with the static site generation, right? Or a server side rendering, your people are creating it. Suppose if you are going with the uh, static site or a SSR, but you know that when you are going with the XM Cloud, your data will be published to the edge. Edge is nothing but having a snapshot of your page. So the pages or your website content is already published to the CDN. CDN generally will be serving as a static content delivery, right? There is no dynamic interaction or nothing will be happening there. So in those cases, how the personalization will happen? Like, because if you are visiting the website and you need to change the content, but content is already coming from your edge content delivery, which is a static. So in those cases, Sitecore is providing the personalization middleware who will be doing the magic in terms of swiping the content. So I will be explaining those in the upcoming slide. Preview mode for checking variation. It means that like how we used to do the preview of our uh, personalization rules after applying it in the Sitecore XP and XM. Same way you can also preview it, and you will be also getting the out of the box reporting feature to analyze your site and the page performance. Any question till this slide? Silence. So no. Let me move forward. So key features. So page-based personalization, you can do that. So I will be when I will be giving the demo, then I will uh, show you how it is different from the traditional XP and XM based implementation. So page-based personalization means you can create a different variations of a pages. So 8 page variations you can create that, and within a one page variation you can add a 5 conditions or a rules, you can utilize that. Component level personalization, like how we used to do in the XMXP, the same way you can personalize the uh, component content, but you can't do the whole page personalization. Like on the basis of this condition, swap this page with the another page. So those type of things are not there. Audience segmentation, you will be getting a segmentation, some set of segmentation out of the box, like I was explaining earlier, how many times you have visited the website, right? So that is nothing but a segmentation. So let me give you another example of segmentation. So for example, in XM, you are having some sort of form where you are doing the subscription. So suppose if you need to identify that if user is already subscribed to your email subscription or not, right? So for that, you generally will be adding some custom attribute in the XDB, right? So then you can easily get a users who is having a subscribe is equal to yes from your XDB. So that is nothing but a set of users which you are getting out of your customer 360-degree profile is a segmentation. But here you are not able to write your own custom segmentation rules. Why? Because you are not having the full-fledged license of the CDP and Personalize. So you need to utilize the out-of-the-box segmentation. Real-time analytics mean you can analyze how your site is performing, how your pages are performing. So that is coming out of the box. So now moving to the technical, because I have uh, talked through what are the features and what are the benefit of XM Cloud Embedded Personalization. Now moves to the technical aspect. So as I was explaining that you will be getting a some set of the personalization rules, right? And some set of a analytics data. So it means that CDP is personalizing, providing you the uh, analytics data, and Personalize is providing you the set of rules which you can apply to make your pages personalized based on the analytics data. So in this case, you are getting a subset of both the Sitecore CDP and Personalize in the embedded personalization. So that's why you can treat it embedded personalization as a subset of Sitecore CDP and Personalize. So suppose if some condition which is not going to fulfill, then you need to go with the full license subscription for the Sitecore CDP and Personalize. So here I am trying to explain you about a page level personalization, how it is happening. So as you are aware that there are two types of build is happening in the NXTS site, or if you are building a headless application, either you can build the SSD server static site generation, or you can do the server side rendering. So in terms of the static site generation, when the you are building your application at that time, the snapshot of your pages will be pushed to the experience as CDN, right? So it means the data which is required to serve to the user is already created and it will be just presented to the user whenever it is requested. But in case of SSR, whenever you are making a request at that time, your application will visit the experience edge and see that data is present or not. If not present, it will make a call to the your system CMCD to see that if there is any changes or there or not, then it will give you the updated data, right? So when the user is requesting here any page, for example, a contact us page, right? So here I have tried to explain in the rendering host is like that a set of middleware. So middleware is a mechanism, you can say that in the headless implementation, like you are having the pipeline in the Sitecore MVC where you can manipulate the output of user request before serving to the end user. So same way you can think of a middleware where you can mimic or you can change the output which you need to serve to the user. So that's why we are having header middleware, set cookie, static content distribution, A/B testing middleware is there, or redirections you need to do that. And same way, Sitecore is providing the personalization middleware who will do the magic, or you can say that the component which will do the personalization. So in that case, when you are having the SSG, so what will happen that uh, this middleware will be having all the pages which is required by the uh, end user, right? Then it will make a call to the Sitecore CDP and personalization. So this is happening in the backend. So you will be not having the access to the any of the API endpoints. So site when you are uh, buying the license, right? So there will be a one subset of the tenant will be assigned to you, but you are not able to access the API endpoints of CDP and personalization. So everything is happening based on your Sitecore Edge context ID. That is a unique key which will be telling that where the data needs to be, from where the data needs to be fetched, right? So then personalization middleware will be not making a call to get a fresh data because the page variants is already present. Then it will make the call to the Sitecore CDP and personalization to see that uh, what is the analytics data is present with respect to the current user, because you will be passing the headers or the context of a current user to the backend system also, like this CDP and personalization. So it will give you the context of the user, like user is already visited the site or not, or in the past how many times user have visited, right? So those data will be present here. So what happened that this personalization middleware suppose is having a 2 or 3 page variants of your page. So for example, in a one page variants, you are having that user is coming from India, right? So then you are having the that condition, and you are making a call to the segmentation and see that uh, to get it that analytics data of segmentation details. So if condition is matching, then the personalization middleware will serve that page variant to you. If that condition is failed, so for example, you are having another condition, another page variant is that if user is has already visited a site one time in a 10 days, right? So that page variants, then the call will be made to the this backend system to see that is that condition is fulfilling or not. So it will return the data and the condition is verified by the personalization middleware. If that is fulfilled, then the data will be served to the end user. But in case of SSR, so whenever user is requesting any page, this personalization middleware will make a call to the experience edge to get all the page variants of a user. Suppose if you are having a contact us pages 4 page variants you have created, so you will be getting a so experience edge will be getting all the page variants in case of SSR, right? But in case of SSG, your code deployment, right? At the time of build, all the snapshot of your pages is already present here, so it will not make a call. So with that way, page level personalization is happening. So let's take some insight on this part where the XM cloud is there. So in the first section, I talked about a XM cloud, right? So what happened that when you will be provisioning the XM cloud, the Sitecore automatically provision a Sitecore CMS instance and the editing host for you. This editing host is nothing but will help you to edit your page in Experience Editor as well as the Pages Editor. So you do not need to provision it. It will be automatically provisioned. And whenever you will be publishing the data, your content item, layout snapshot, and media item will be pushed to the Experience Edge. So it's a CDN. So you do not need to have a separate CDN in front of this Experience Edge CDN because it's already a CDN product. So why we need to place another CDN in front of that? So with that way, your content is there and you will be having experience edge GraphQL endpoint. With the help of that, you will be consuming data in your Next.js application. So here you are seeing that there is a rendering host, there is a editing rendering host, right? So the difference between that rendering host will be used by a end user, right? And this editing host is utilized by a Sitecore so that you can edit the pages in the experience editor. But this editing host cannot be used as a rendering host for the end user. And also the Sitecore is also provisioning a search instance for you so that you can search in the XM Cloud CM role. But that search also you cannot access for your front-end application. So you need to provision a search instance or another search provider like a search tag, Covio, Sitecore search or Solar search for your website, and that you need to crawl it based on the whatever the mechanism you wanted to use that. So any question in this page level personalization? No. Okay, fine. So now feature comparison with experience platform. So here is a high level feature comparison like embedded XP and CDP and personalization. So data source, as I was telling, that session based. Session based means that on the basis of a current user session plus a 30 days of historical data. In XP, you can have a historical and session data both. You can utilize that. CDP is also a nothing but a data lake. So where you can store a large number of a data set for a particular user. AI/ML support is not there, but in CDP and personalization, it's present. Scalability embedded, and these CDP and personalization are a SaaS product, so you do not need to invest on the infrastructure for part for the sizing. But in XP, you need to having, if you want a good scalability, then you need to do the means uh, provision a more server for your application based on your user load. Integration is, yes, you can integrate this with the uh, XM Cloud application, as well as if you are building any different tech stack, so you can integrate that. But in XP, you can utilize only the MVC to implement that. CDP and personalization are API based, so you do not need to rely on any tech stack. So it's API based, so you can implement with any tech stack. Real-time data embedded is giving you a real-time. XP, you can also use a real-time. So all three are giving you the real-time. Data retention, if for embedded, it's a 30-day, and for others, it's a long-term. And user experience is a simple because you do not are getting a much conditions. It's a simple and intuitive. In case of a XP, if you are a known to how to open the experience editor and how to click on a particular component to open a personalization condition, then only you can implement that. CDP and personalization is complex because you need to, for a complex conditions or a use cases, you need to implement a your own personalization source in the personalization CDP personalize, and also you need to write a code in the Sitecore Personalize. So that's why it's a complex to use unless and until you are well versed in using those things. And this is a metrics from the Sitecore. So they are calling it as a Sitecore engagement. So why I have explaining this or presenting this, that when you are trying to do the digital transformation or replatforming from the MVC to the Sitecore headless, or suppose you wanted to select any third party in terms of a personalization or a CDP, then you can think of this matrix, which will be helpful for you to analyze that. If you wanted to do the web data collection, then XM Cloud CDP serving the same purpose, or where the omni-channel support is required, then XM Cloud is embedded personalization is not serving the purpose, right? Because you are not getting the API endpoints so that you can track the user event, because it's a web based, and when you are using the XM Cloud code base, so automatically tracking is happening. So you cannot do in a different application like a mobile application. You can't consume that. So with the help of this metrics, you can easily identify that what are the condition are being ticked for your use cases, and based on that you can buy the specific combination of the product. So now moving to the next section is a session based versus a historical data personalization. So session based, as I was explaining earlier, is a XM Cloud embedded personalization, and historical data personalization is a Sitecore CDP and personalized combination of those two. So yes, any questions? Okay. So real time is, suppose if user are coming to your website, and if you are having a use cases where user is coming to or landing to your website from any campaign, or you are having a UTM parameter to track. So in those cases, you can utilize the embedded personalization, and there is a no long-term data beyond 30 days. You can't access the data, so you cannot implement a any use cases where you are required a 30 beyond 30 days, as well as where you need to have a custom segmentation, so you can't use the embedded personalization. And it is ideal for a immediate implementation, like from where user is coming, user region, user belongs to which region, or you are accessing a which OS, like a more iOS, Windows, or you are accessing a which browser like a Chrome, or you are checking a Safari. So on the basis of that, the immediate solution for immediate use cases, you can utilize the session-based personalization. But in case of a historical, so let's say an example that you are working in a project where the client is having a offline store as well as online informational website as well as the e-commerce website. So for example, there is a one user, right, which went to a specific store of a client where user is buying something. So in that case, for example, user is buying the clause related to the summer, right? And then that data is being pushed to the CRM system of that specific client, right? So if you are already having the Sitecore CDP, so generally what you need to do, you need to push data from the CRM system to the Sitecore CDP, so that Sitecore CDP can create a 360-degree profile of that. So what user have bought it, like user have bought uh, a summer related items, right? So that attribute is being tagged into the the user profile in the CDP. So now user is coming to your informational website, and user is searching for some summer related items or summer related knowledge, right? So that way, once user is logged in, so you know that user is accessing these pages. So now when user is landing that to your e-commerce website, so you know that user already purchased some summer related items from your offline store, right? And also user have traversed the summer related articles or something in your informational website. Now in e-commerce website, you can prompt the offers to the users, right? So in those cases, in those complex use cases, you need to go with the combination of Sitecore, CDP, and Personalize. So you need to buy the full-fledged. And also, you can create your own segmentation rules there. You can create your own custom rules also in the Sitecore Personalize, and you can push those into the embedded personalization, or in the dashboard, which I'm going to show you. You can push into that also. So in those cases, you need to go with the full-fledged CDP and personalization. Now moving to the next section, when and why to use the Sitecore XM Cloud embedded personalization. So as I was explaining, when you are looking for a real-time personalization, improved engagement, like a relevant content based on a current user session, you need to do that. Then you can go with that. Ease of use, when it's a, because it is providing you a less set of rules, then it's easy to use, and because you are not having a complex condition which you are generally building in the your XMXP, as well as you are building in the personalization. And it is a quick deployment because you are not writing anything, you are just updating the page variants of your page, right? You are not writing anything. Then it will be a quick deployment because you just need to publish it. And page level personalization only present because you are just swapping the page content within a page, so you do not need to write any custom logic there. Everything is out of the box. So in those cases, this embedded personalization is useful, and also it is meant for a simple use cases, not for the complex use cases. So when to consider Sitecore CDP and personalization? So as I explained earlier when I was explaining the session based versus a historical, so I already gave the example of a complex use case where user are coming to different means different ways or channels is coming, user is coming to your website. So if those cases are there and where you need to have a more than 30 days of data and you required it, so in those cases you can go with the Sitecore CDP and personalization. So difference is there at a high level is that you cannot build up a advanced segmentation in embedded personalization, but when you are going with the CDP and personalization, so you can create a advanced segmentations, and also you can create a custom rules, and also you can utilize the CDP API endpoints while building a kiosk application, because in application like a ATM booth you are going it, right? So when you are logging in after swiping your card, you are seeing the customized offers, right? So how these offers are coming, because that is a kiosk application, and in a backend they will be using some data lake or some other tools which is giving a your persona, right? On the basis of that, kiosk is displaying the personalized message to you, right? So in those cases also you can use the CDP and personalize. So use cases of embedded personalization, like you can go with the page level personalization, you can use the geolocation, audience segmentation like out of the box, and personalized promotion, like if you are coming from a Facebook, show this content to the user, so like that you can use like a simple use cases. So now coming to the demo, let me show you. So this is the site which I have created. Let me show you. So how to access this? So this is nothing but a your pages builder, like a pages editor. So when you will open this, so you will be landing to this. So you can select the site from here, which sites you need to select it, and you can select the page wherever you need to implement the personalization, right? So on the top, if you are seeing here, you are having a different icon. One is editor, one is template, personalize and analyze. So once you will click on the personalization, you will be getting a page where you can apply the condition, and also this target type of icon wherever the personalization rules have been implemented, right? So you will be seeing a this icon. So suppose for example I am on the home page, right? So you are seeing that when I will edit that, then you can implement the personalization into those whichever components are editable. Wait a minute, let me refresh one more time. Okay, so once I will click on the personalize, so you are seeing that it will show me the page variants if I have already created, and there will be a link or a button from which you will click that, and then you can do the create the variant of a page. So if you are seeing here, there is a one more thing you need to think of, like the variant which I was talking about. These are the variants. So for example, for one condition I have created a this page variant. For other, I have created a this page variant. So wherever the personalizations have been done in your page variants, so it will be marked as a green. And wherever you haven't done and it is allowed, you will be seeing this sign amber color, like it's showing rich text not personalized, right? And here it's showing quote is personalized. So it's based on your component, it will show the message. So green means that it's already applied, amber means that you can apply. So like you can create a 8-page variants, and but there is a major difference here is that if you remember in XP and in XP when you used to apply the personalization, so you will generally pick up a one component and you will selecting that okay based on this condition, apply this personalization rules here, and you are coming here, apply the personalization rules B here, right? So you will be able to apply a more than one personalization rules on a different components, right? But here what happened that when you are creating the page variants, so you will be getting at this canvas to add your personalization rules. So suppose add first condition. So what I can do that, for example, uh, let's see that a geo, right? So out of the box you are getting a these type of geo related personalization rules. So for example, I will click here also this, right? So the visitor is in country this, I can select the United States, right? And regions. So currently, like you are seeing, it's a limited, right? So only US regions is there. So these are the one of the limitations. So you can select this condition. And if visitor is in region, so you can select Asia, Europe, or this, right? So you can apply these condition in terms of and or, right? But you can't do that like a one component will be based on a one custom rules and other component will display the data on another rules, right? That is not possible here. If you are having that type of scenario, then you need to create the another variation. For example, if you are seeing here, I am having a condition like a geo related. If I am coming from Asia, then show this message. If I am coming from a geolocation Europe, then display this message, right? So I cannot create a uh, three add a three component of this, and I can add a or condition like that. Generally we used to do in uh, display this component when the condition is this, display this component when condition is this. So I cannot do that type of implementation here. So that is a limitation in when you are going with the CDP or personalization, if you will going to implement in the headless world. So that is the limitation. You need to create the variations of your pages, right? And let me go again here. So as I shown you the condition for the geo, right? So same way, when you always filter is like that. These are the date based, like the visitor is before or after the date. So these are the out of the box condition you can utilize based on the conditions, but you cannot get a set of users or create any custom segmentation rules out of this, right? Because it's coming, these segmentation are out of the box. So with the help of this, like a visit, the visit is on a day of a month is greater or equal to like a 1 or 2, right? Your organization time zone. So these are the condition which you can implement based on the uh, time zone or a date and time. Same way, when I need to implement a device specific condition, right? So I can use these two conditions. Like the visitor is using a device, mobile, tablet, desktop. These conditions are useful when you need to change the content based on the devices. For example, they are simple use cases like you are having a bigger image or a short image, like those type of components are you are going to add. So in those cases, you can utilize this very easily. So you do not need to write any custom code or any code. You can utilize these simple personalization condition and use that. Same way, the visitor is using a operating system. So on the basis of your operating system, so these conditions are very useful when you are implementing a some sort of a application like mobile application or anything, right? So in those cases, you have seen that you are giving the link to download the mobile application, right? So those in those cases, these conditions are very useful. Same way you can implement a point of sale condition, like the visit is to this. So there is a conditions is there, like a point of sale is nothing but a when you are having a multiple applications, then in the XM Cloud you are defining a point of sale for your application. So it is based on that. This is user interaction, right? So this can be used when you are building the campaign related, you are creating a different campaign in your website. Suppose for example you are making a marketing website which is just informational, right? And you are running a different campaign for your e-commerce website, right? So in those cases you can utilize a these UTM parameters to implement a y- personalization based on the UTM parameter. And this is like the visitors come from the URL which is equal to and referrer in the current visit, right? So it is coming from a Facebook, or you are having another website also, then from which URL user is coming, so you can implement in you can implement the personalization in those conditions also. And this is if the visitor is a new user or a returning user. Suppose if the new user is there, you need to prompt or show some banner to subscribe or something like that. So in those cases, these condition can be utilized. So how these conditions are working? As I was explaining the technical diagram, right, where I was explaining about how the personalization middleware is making a call to the different page variations, right? So in this case, so when you are having the more than one, you can say that a page variations for your this, and you are having a conditions, right? So what happened that when user will start the visit, right? So user will be landing on the website. It can be a new user or it can be a returning user, right? So this evaluate conditions. So what it will do in this case, the personalization middleware will check the visitor against the set of predefined condition like a page view location, like the conditions which you have defined it. If the conditions are evaluated, suppose you are seeing that when I was showing the canvas, right? So you can add a and or condition, or you can move the condition up and down, or move top or bottom also. So based on the order, it will evaluate the condition. If the condition is satisfying it, right? So it will assign the audience and display the personalization. So for example, you are having a two or three page variants, and you like I have defined like geolocation is Europe, geolocation is India, right? So so whenever the first condition is met, the audience will be assigned to that specific page variation, and the personalization content will be served to the end user. If that condition is filled, then only it will be moving to the other condition in the order which is being fulfilled. So it is very important that how you wanted to add the condition on your page, so you can move up forward the page variation as well as the condition. So this flow will be happening whenever user is trying to visit your website. It's not like that it is happening at a one time. When you will move to the next page also, right, visitor navigate to the another page also, then again this re-evaluation criteria to assign the audience segmentation is happening. So it means that whenever you are accessing a page, the personalization middleware will do this logic to assign a personalization content. If nothing is there, the default content will be served to you. So now analytics and insight, right? So when you will be here, right? So what happened that there is this analytics tab is there, analyze tab. So once you will land here, so it will give you the your site specific analytics. So here you will see that you are getting only a 30 days of data that I was keep telling from the starting that data retention policy is a 30 days. So it's a 30 days data. So you can analyze how your your website is performing, right? But if you are having the extensive use case for the reporting, like you need to see that from which location user is coming, then you need to buy a CDP license and you need to ingest data into a reporting system like a Power BI, and you need to build up your own reporting. But here it's a simple like how many visitors have visited, average time on the site. So like how the digital marketing team evaluate your website. So those basic features are present in this, and also it will give you thing that which browser user have used and operating systems user have used. So like that you can get the site specific, and also if you have selected a specific page, then it will give you the page insight. So here if you are seeing that it is giving me the default page insight, and also it will be giving me the option to select another page variant to compare between these two how the pages are performing. So if you are seeing here, it is giving you the number of visitor, average page views, and visits, how the visits are trending, or the analytics data in terms of a graph, and also the time of the day also it is giving me, and also top countries variant or views which is more accessible. So you can also select a your variant which you have already created and compare that from which regions user are more visiting your website, and on the basis of that you can curate the content for your website. So that way also it is very helpful, and it will give you both the page variants comparison, and you can analyze the pages also. So like that, but you cannot add a more than one page variant to compare at the time. At a time you can only compare a two, and also you can verify that which browser and which operating system users are more frequently using to access your website. This I shown you. So data privacy means when you are using any third party product, so these things you need to consider like compliance, as GDPR and CCPA compliance is there. And also the data security, the data encryption is AES 250, and data traversing is a TLS 1.2. A retention policy like XM Cloud is a 30 days, and Sitecore Personalize is a 90 days. And CDP, the data retention is unlimited. So you need to consider these things when you are going to propose any product, because some client is having a requirement of a data retention, like they need to archive the data or they need to purge the data. So in those cases, you need to take care of these things. Limitation, as I said, that only page level personalization. So you cannot do a runtime personalization. Like you can create a interactive personalization in the CDP, sorry, Sitecore Personalize, and you can do with the help of some code, you can tweak the personalization content in the runtime also, but those things cannot be possible here. Limited variant, as I shown you, right, you are getting a set of the condition which you can utilize. You cannot create a new condition here, and there will be no API access, only session based or up to 30 days data you can utilize. Data retention is limited like 30 days. AI ML is not there. Why? Because you have not having a full-fledged license, but when you are going with the CDP, then you are getting a AI ML support, because it will give you the AI based dynamic segmentation so that you can personalize the user experience. Aggregate data, it's a limited. You cannot create a set of segmentation rules or get a set of user to apply any personalization rule. No personalization, and also the trend data expiry date is a 61 days. So these are the limitations. So if you are having the, you need to implement the personalization is your in your application, so you need to take care of these limitations also. And these are the some useful references, like if you wanted to learn, you can always go to the Sitecore knowledge articles or a developer portal, and you can easily get a useful information, or you can feel free to get in touch with me by scanning this QR code, and I will be able to help you if I can answer your queries. Now I'm open for the question and answer, if anything for me.
Any questions? Amit, I have a question.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
when you're talking about the limitations, is it like when compared to the XP, like we used to hide and show the component, that is not possible in embedded personalized, correct?
It is not possible here, and also when you are going to use the CDP and personalization also, right? So you need to write a code there by tweaking with the help of a JavaScript or anything. For example, you are having a let me show you quickly. Huh? Give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, for example, you are having a this component, right? Where you are seeing the rich text and you are having a this one, right? So suppose if you need to hide based on a one condition, right? So you cannot you can hide this based on a one condition, but you cannot apply a two condition. For example, you are seeing here I am having a three geo based page variants, right? So if one will be fulfilled, then the other will be not rendered, right? But if I need to, if in XP, right, what I will be doing it, I will be creating a different data sources, right, for my personalization, right? One rule only, like if it is
Hmm.
fitting with this,
Yes.
show this, so that is
And
not
hide
possible.
others.
Hide
Okay.
this. But if you
Hmm.
need to do this, then you need to buy the full-fledged license of a CDP and personalization. Then you need to write a code that if user is coming belongs to this region, then dynamically you need to fetch the data source and you need to change it. So that logic you have to write it by
Okay.
your own.
Okay, I understand. One more question regarding the data retention. Like you were
Mm,
talking about in embedded personalized, right? The
mm.
problem here is, like we cannot, will the personalization work after 30 days, or it is just, it will show the or only old
No, no.
data with this within 30 days?
It see, suppose it will be data storage is a 30 days. So for example, if you are having a condition like user have visited the data, your website in a last 30 days two times, right? So it will be based on a current date, right? So if
Yes.
user have already visited your website 10 times uh, before the 30 days, suppose for example last month it's already gone, right? So you are not having that data to manipulate. So in that case your condition will be failed.
Okay. But we can,
So
but still the personalization rules will work, but
rule will
only,
work that
okay.
condition. Suppose if you are having that user have visited your website in the last 30 days 30 times, right? For example, if you are having that condition,
Okay.
it will be not meeting. Why? Because you only having a 30 days. If the one day more gone, then your condition will be failing because you are having a 29 days of data only.
Okay, I understand now. Okay. Any questions, guys? Okay. Okay, then thank you so much, Amit. It was very insightful session and also like very knowledgeable also because when to purchase CDP, when to purchase personalized, or if you want to make use of the existing embedded personalized. So I think that was really great session. Thank you all. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Amit.
Thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks, Amit. Thanks, everyone.